You're mid-conversation with someone you just met. At some point, without deciding to, you cross your arms the same moment they do. A few minutes later, you both lean back in your chairs at almost the exact same time. Nobody told your body to do that. You didn't notice it happening, and yet it happened anyway, in perfect unplanned sync. Here's the strange part. This isn't a trick some manipulation guru taught you to spot. It's not something salespeople exploit to seem trustworthy, even though plenty of them try. It's something your body has been doing automatically your entire life in nearly every conversation you've ever had, completely without your permission. Welcome to Brain on a Leash, where the strange ancient wiring behind ordinary human moments finally starts to make sense. In 1999, the psychologists Tanya, Chartrand, and Bargh ran an experiment that's now been cited in academic research thousands of times. They had participants sit across from a stranger, actually a researcher, working with the study and complete a simple task together. The stranger would casually rub their own face at certain points or shake their foot at others. Nothing dramatic, small, unremarkable movements, and without a single instruction, without anyone saying a word about it, participants started doing the exact same thing. Rubbing their face when the stranger rubbed theirs. Shaking their foot when the stranger's foot started moving. When researchers asked participants afterward if they'd noticed themselves copying anyone, almost none of them had. Why would your body copy a complete stranger's random, meaningless movements without your mind even noticing it happened? Here's where it gets interesting. Watching someone perform an action doesn't just register in your brain as information. It activates some of the very same motor pathways you'd use to perform that action yourself. Just observing a gesture nudges your own body a little closer to producing it. Researchers call this the perception-behavior link, and it means your default setting, the thing your brain does unless something actively stops it, is to start becoming the person in front of you. Stillness, staying perfectly independent while watching someone move, actually takes more effort than syncing up does. Copying isn't the exception, it's the resting state. So why would evolution wire a brain that defaults to imitation instead of independence? Picture a small group of your ancestors moving together across open ground, migrating, foraging, escaping something dangerous. A group that moved in sync, that could coordinate pace and posture and rhythm without a single word passed between them, moved more efficiently, and stayed safer than a scattered group of individuals all doing their own thing. Predators target stragglers. Someone who was visibly out of step with the group, physically desynced from everyone around them, was also socially exposed, easier to isolate, easier to lose. A body that automatically fell into rhythm with the people nearby wasn't just being polite, it was quietly signaling, I move like you, I belong with you, don't leave me behind. There's a name researchers eventually gave this. A later paper described the chameleon effect as social glue, arguing that this involuntary mimicry likely evolved specifically to build affiliation and coordination between people, not as a communication trick, but as a survival mechanism running underneath language entirely. Now here's the detail that matters, and it's the part most advice columns quietly skip. Later studies found that when people were deliberately mimicked, they reported liking the person who mimicked them more and even trusted them more in follow-up interactions. This is exactly the finding that turned into an entire self-help industry of mirror people to make them like you. But that framing gets the direction backwards. The syncing isn't a trick you perform on someone to produce liking, it's a signal your body sends when the liking, or at least the comfort, is already forming. Deliberately faking it doesn't reliably manufacture connection because the whole reason it works is that it's supposed to be involuntary. An honest signal loses its meaning the moment it becomes a performance. Have you ever been in a conversation that felt oddly stiff, even though you couldn't say exactly why? This might be part of the answer. Now think about a video call. Your face sits in a small box. So does theirs. There's a slight delay between when someone moves and when you actually see it. You're both sitting still, mostly out of frame from the waist down, staring at a screen instead of a full present body. All the raw material your ancient synchronization system needs, posture, rhythm, the subtle timing of small shared movements, gets flattened, delayed, or cropped out entirely. The audio comes through fine, the words land fine, but the ancient half of the conversation, the one running underneath the words, never actually gets to happen. That might be part of why so many people describe video calls as quietly exhausting, even when nothing about the conversation itself was difficult. Your body showed up expecting to sync, and there was nothing there to sync with. This connects to something worth remembering from an earlier idea on this channel, the one about why humans blush. Both of these are really about the same category of thing, involuntary signals your body sends that your conscious mind can't fake and often can't even detect. Blushing tells the people around you that your remorse is real. Mimicry tells them that your connection is real. Neither one asks for your permission first. Both of them exist because, for most of human history, honest signals mattered more than anything you could say out loud. loud. None of this means every silence or stiffness in a conversation means something is wrong. It just means your body is running an old, careful check, constantly, quietly, underneath whatever you're actually talking about. Am I in sync with this person? Are we moving the same way? Are we safe together? Most of the time, you'll never consciously notice the answer. You'll just feel, afterward, like the conversation went well, or like something about it felt slightly off without being able to say exactly why. So the next time you catch yourself crossing your arms right after someone else does, or leaning in exactly when they lean in, don't brush past it as a coincidence. That's not nothing. That's one of the oldest, most reliable bonding systems your species ever built, still running silently in the background of an ordinary conversation, checking, without asking you first, whether the person across from you is someone your body has decided to trust. You didn't fall into sync with them because you liked them. You liked them because somewhere underneath the conversation, your body had already decided you were in sync. If you haven't seen the video on why humans blush, that one pairs well with this. Until next time, keep your brain on a leash.